Hello friends, Martin here, Children of Revival Ministry. We speak on Daniel 11 and yes, so I want to read you, before I'm going to read you verse 11 verse 1, I'm going to read you 10 verse 1 so that you can see what I'm talking about. It says 10 verse 1 says, in the 3rd year of Cyrus the king of Persia. Alright, this Cyrus is after the Mede king. Alright, so it was first Babylon. They took Judah out of Israel, destroyed Jerusalem and the temple, and then Nebuchadnezzar was there. His son was there, Belshazzar. Alright, then we know Darius came. Alright, and then we have this Mede king. Alright, so the Mede king is now in chapter 11, but in chapter 10, but chapter 10 is about the Persian king. It's the king just after the Mede one. So we cannot read Daniel in a sense of chapter 1 is following on 2, following on 3 and 4, 5, 6. Alright, because here we can see we already spoken on chapter 8 about this, what we are going to talk now about. Then chapter 9 was a vision, and chapter 10 was a vision of Daniel as well. Now chapter 11 is now a previous king, because we are going now to 11 that starts off, and in the 1st year of Darius the Mede, I took my stand and support and protect him. The following chapter was 10, talking about the king that's after this one. That's why I said we need to know who is speaking, to whom, which time, what it's all about. Alright, it would have been better for us if we have chapter 11 before 10, but we did not do it. And another thing is, remember, Daniel did not write it in chapters and verses. So we need to understand the whole concept. That's why I said first go to part 1 and then 2 and then go on like I'm speaking to you. Because if you want to take one chapter out, you are not going to see the big picture of the thing. So we are today at Daniel 11. And in the 1st year of Darius the Mede, I took my stand and support and protect him. Alright, now then, I tell you the truth, 3 more kings will arise in Persia. And we already heard previous chapter about Persian king was Cyrus that will come. So it's not chronological. Now then, I tell you the truth, 3 more kings will arise in Persia. And then in the 4th, who will be far richer than all the others. Now we need to understand that this is history, and that's why I'm just going to give you the names of these 4 Persian kings that rule, that time. The first one was, now it's after Cyrus. Alright, so Cyrus is the first Persian king that will rule. He's the one that was lenient to the Jewish people and says, Daniel, alright, let Ezra and Nehemiah, they can go back. Alright, to go and rebuild Jerusalem. But after him, this 11 verse 2 says, is 4 kings that will come after him. Cambyses the second. Cambyses the second was the first king. He was the son of this Cyrus. Alright, I'm not going to give too much detail. Bardia was the second king. Short rule that he had, okay, after Cambyses. And then Darius the first, he ruled a little longer. He was from 522 before Christ to 486 before Christ, a strong ruler, and after him was Xerxes. Right. He also ruled 21 years. So it's 4 kings. He was the one that is the rich one that made war with the Greek Empire of Alexander the Great that is about to win him. That war was 3 years long. Alright, so let's read again. Verse 2. Now then I tell you the truth, 3 more kings will arise in Persia. Alright, after Cyrus. And then a 4th who will be far richer than the others. When he has gained power by his wealth, he will stir up everything against the kingdom of Greece. Then a mighty king will rise who will rule with great power and do as he pleases. It's talk about Alexander the Great. After he has risen, his empire will be broken up, parceled out toward the 4 winds of the heaven. Alright, so Alexander the Great, he died, and there were 4 generals that took over. It will not go to his descendants, nor will it have the power he exercised, because his empire will be uprooted and given to others. The kings of the south will come strong, but one of his commanders will become even stronger than he, and he will rule his own kingdom with great power. After some years they will become allies. The daughter of the king of the south will go to the king of the north. Who is this speaking? Now the first 4 generals that were took over, they are talking about them, and just let me get their names again for you so that you can understand. This is history. This is all about, you know, Judah, and you know that they were in slavery in that time, and how God will come and judge them and oppress them because they will not turn or listen to the words of the prophets. Alright, so the first one is Ptolemy. Alright, he's from Egypt. Seleucus is from Babylon and Syria. Cassander, Macedonia, and Limachus was from Asia. Alright, and now it's going to start speaking of the 2 kings. Alright, and he speaks of Ptolemy of the south, and Seleucus is the king of the north that we are going to read about. Alright, so that's the 4 generals that will conquer when Alexander the Great of the Greek Empire died. They will conquer the Persian. Alright, so just let me read. After some years they will become allies. The king of the south will go to the king of the north. The south is the one of Egypt. Alright, that's Ptolemy, and the one of the north is Seleucus. Go to the king of the north to make islands. Islands. Alright, islands. Sorry for my pronunciation. But she will not obey. The daughter of the king of the south will go to the king of the north to make an alliance, but she will not retain her power, and he and his power will not last. In those days she will be betrayed, together with a royal escort and a father and the one who supports her. One from her family line will arise to take her place. He will attack the forces of the king of the north and enter his fortress. He will fight against them and victoriously. So this is how these 4 generals, the Ptolemy and Seleucus, is the king of the north, is starting you know, to fight each other in the Greek Empire. He will also seize their gods, their metal images, and their valuable articles of silver, gold, and carry them off to Egypt. For some years he will leave the king of the north alone. Then the king of the north will invade the realm of the king of the south, but will retreat to his own country. This is history, people. Alright, this played off, alright, long before Jesus Christ came. But remember, we are reading now chapter 11. And chapter 11 is actually before chapter 10, where Daniel saw the vision of Jesus Christ, and it was in you know, prayer and fasting about the Michael angel that says he had to come and help to stand against the prince of Persia. His sons will prepare for war and assemble a great army, which will sweep one like an irresistible flood and carry them the battle as far as his fortress. Then the king of the south will march out in rage and fight against the king of the north, who will rise a large army. When the army is carried off, the king of the south will be filled with pride, and he will be slaughtered many thousands, yet he will not remain triumphant. For the king of the north will muster another army, larger than the first, and after several years he will advance with a huge army full equipped. In those times many will rise against the king of the south. Those who are violent among your own people will rebel in fulfillment of the vision, but without success, because this is all about Judah that is in captivity in Babylon. The bad kings who come and they rule over the people, and now there's war against these kings as well. Alright, it's not to do with us, nothing to do with us. We cannot take Daniel as times excuse me, for our time. We cannot take Daniel's prophecy for his people and his prayers and heart for us. We need to put it in a right frame. Now we have heard now about these two kings that is fighting each other, and then in verses 3-6 is very important. He speaks of a king that will arise now, and he will be terrible. Now we know, excuse me, in history, I'm going to speak a little about that. You can go and read now from verse 36 till the end. You know who this was. The king will do as he please. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god, and will say unheard of things against the God of gods. He will successfully until the time of wrath is completed, for what has been determined must take place. So we are talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. Alright, who was this? And I'm going to say a few things, read a few things on history. Alright, so he was a Greek king. Alright, so he came up out of Alexander the Great. Remember the 4 generals, and then now he is coming up as a king 215 to 164 before Christ. It's a long time. Alright, was a Greek king, and he came out of the Seleucid Empire. Alright, you remember the Seleucid, who ruled from 175 to 164 BC. He was infamous for his persecution on Jews and his descendants of the second temple that was built now by Nehemiah and Ezra. You know that prophets, alright, that went back to Jerusalem, which played a significant role in the events leading to the Maccabean revolt. So there was also a Maccabean revolt. Just let me get a few points about him. Antiochus took power after the death of his brother Seleucus. He gave himself the title Epiphanes. It means God manifested. Reflecting his belief in his divine status. He aggressively promoted Greek culture and religion in that time, forcing the Jews to abandon their customs, embrace Greek practices. This includes banning circumcision and observing the Sabbath and the Torah studies. Desecration of the temple in 167 BC. He set up an altar of Zeus in the Jewish temple and sacrifices pigs on it, which was an abomination to the Jews. This act, known as the abomination of desolation, is mentioned in Daniel 8 as well. Alright, the Maccabean revolt, it was from 167 to 160 before Christ. His persecution led to the Jewish uprising led by Judas Maccabeus and his family, the Maccabees. The revolt was successful, leading to the rededication of the temple in 164 BC. Alright, commemorated by Hanukkah. Antiochus 164 died mysteriously, possibly by a disease or a divine judgment. This is history. His oppressive rule and defilement of the temple made him a prototype of the later tyrants, alright, that will come in the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire is busy starting to come up, and they will rule now then the Greek Empire, alright, where the Jewish people is still under the rule of the Roman Empire. So you can go and read Daniel 36 about what I've said now about this Antiochus Epiphanes, and he made it very terrible. So what is it all about? It's about Daniel in Babylon, praying, seeking God for deliverance, and how visions and dreams will come to him, telling him what is going on now until the time of the end, the time of the Judah end, the time of the Jewish end. It's all about the Jewish end. It's the end of a world. What world? The world of the Judah. Israel was the 10 tribes. They are already gone. The Syrians took care of them. Babylon came, and now it's Babylon and the Medo Persian and the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire that will judge them until Jesus Christ will come to bring the kingdom. Alright, this rock that will come loose to help all nations now. It will strike the toes at the right time when Jesus hung on the cross, so that we can go and read Revelation 12 with you. I hope this helped and bless you to put the whole Daniel in time and right times. In Jesus' mighty name, amen and amen.